Every new artist has been through this. Where you watch anime and you have that urge that you want to draw the character that you see before you. Then you start picking up your pencil, paper, and you start drawing, and your results look like this. Yeah. You start comparing your reference to your drawing and you find out it's not the same, but you erase and you start all over again, but it only gets worse. I've been there too. But hey, you don't have to worry because why? I got you. Hey, it's me, Olusiano Exai, creator and artist of the series Fatal Blow. And in this video, I'll be showing you guys how to draw faces. Whether it's your first time picking up a pencil and drawing, or you have been drawing but you still had problems, don't worry, in this video I'll be making it simple as possible so that anyone can be able to do it. So, I'll be using two of my characters, my main characters of the series. So, without wasting any time, let's go. Shapes are important when it comes to drawing characters, so the first thing we do is draw a circle before we draw the character. That way we can determine the positioning of the character you're trying to draw. After that, we split the circle in half for the placement of the nose and the mouth. Then we draw little lines at the sides of the circle, determining the size of the head. Then curve the lines a little bit for the jawline. Your jaw could be pointy or it could be like straight. It's really up to you. Then we draw the horizontal line for the eye placement. And from there, I'd say you got pretty much your head structure. You could also add the neck, but here we're going for like a teenager type character, you know? If they're buff, the neck could be thick, or if they're lean, then it's thin. Then from there, we can start outlining the face. It could be a little bit tricky, well, for someone who uses a phone and a thumb. It is quite challenging, but I make it work. Although there are casualties when drawing like that. Then from there, we start drawing the ears. Your ears mustn't actually like reach the point of the jaw like the curved lines. The bottom of your ears also can play a role as a guideline. I'll show you later why. Then we draw the hair. If you know the placement of the hairline and how you will draw your hair, you don't need to actually draw the guideline. But if you're someone who still constantly struggles to draw the hairline, then you might need to put on the guideline so you can know where your hairline is and how you'll draw your hair. And for the rest of your hair, there is that point on the head where it tells us the hair flow. From there, you can start drawing your hair like any way you want. You could draw your hair spiky like the way I'm doing here, or you could draw any other hairstyle, but as long as it goes with the flow. And this line over here is for the eyes. But the first thing we gotta do is draw the eyebrows, which are over the eyes, and you could use the top of the ears as guidelines to know where the eyebrows should be. Plus, your eyebrows and the eyes shouldn't be close to the vertical line. There should always be a gap in between your eyes. And as for your eyes, you can draw them in any shape you want, whether it's a circle, a rectangle, square, maybe a triangle, any kind of shape. But for me, I'm going for the kind of rectangular shape. And as for the nose, you could use the bottom of the ears as a guideline to place it. Although you could draw a guideline from bottom of one ear to another to place the nose. And back to the eyes. When drawing the iris, you must make sure you draw the 3/4 of the iris. That way your character doesn't look like a homicidal maniac. And when drawing the mouth, you could use the jaw as a guideline. Or if you want, you could also draw a guideline to know where your mouth is. And voila, the end result of drawing a male face. For advice, you should always practice drawing your shapes before drawing the characters, so that you don't struggle when actually drawing. And as for the female face, you could do the same as the male face, but with some slight differences. Like the vertical line that separates the face should be a bit shorter, and the lines at the side should also be shorter, plus the jawline. Typically speaking, the female face has much more softer features than the male face. So when drawing a female face, you should maybe consider making it a bit softer, you know? So that you don't actually draw a female with hard features, or in other words, a girl who looks like a guy. And of course, let's edit the guidelines for the eyes so, well, we know where they are. And I took the liberty of drawing some lines next to their faces to show the head measurements of a female face and a male face. As you can see here, the female face is much shorter than the male face. Keep this in mind as it'll be useful in the future when you're trying to draw some characters. And of course, you can also add in the neck if you want. A female's neck is slightly thinner than a male's neck. But if they are buff, then those rules don't apply. You can make the neck as thick as you want, but I prefer thin. That's how I usually draw my female characters. And we're back to the line art. The outlines might be tricky when you're trying to achieve those clean and smooth lines, but you'll get used to it. Well, for the chin, in my understanding and for watching too much anime, a female's chin is more likely to be pointy. And as for the hair, it is rather challenging when you're trying to draw a female's head, depending on the hairstyle that you want to go with. And also the same principle applies for the female. You could draw the guidelines for the hairline, but if you know where your hair is gonna be and how you're gonna do it, then you don't need guidelines. I suggest that you practice drawing your hairstyles before applying them in your characters. That way your characters will look clean and good instead of the opposite. But most of the time, that's where most beginners tend to make a mistake. It is when they try to draw hair, then it doesn't look good, and they keep erasing, they do it over and over. And another thing for advice, if you're trying to draw hair, make sure that you use fast strokes instead of like slow. If you use slow, then your hair will not be good the way you want it to be. But if you use fast strokes, then your lines will be clean, everything will be good. And that will save you a lot of time. Piece of advice, if you're drawing on paper, make sure that you don't press on the page because it'll be hard to erase and your art will look unclean. Instead, draw a bit lighter so it can be easy to erase. Then we draw the brows. Remember that they mustn't be too close to the vertical line. I typically draw female characters' eyes bigger because, well, that's what I see in anime. And it kinda gives off that vibe of that you're actually drawing a girl. And you always have to make sure that your eyes must be the same length as the other one to prevent that thing of one eye slightly being above the other one. And the nose tends to be a bit smaller than the male's nose. Plus, I like to add these dashes above the nose. It's just something I like to do. Plus, when drawing a female character's mouth, it also has to be small to give off that cute vibe. And also, let's not forget to add some lashes to her eyes, And when drawing lashes, you can draw them however you want. Whether you can draw them 1 stroke, 2 or 3 strokes, or maybe a gajillion strokes, it doesn't matter. It's all up to you and your creativity. And like I said before, when drawing the iris, you should always draw the 3/4 of the iris so that, again, your character doesn't look something like this. And back to the hair, you could add some highlights to it, like maybe adding some strokes all over it. That way it gives off that anime vibe. And there you go, you got your female and male face side by side. But I do recommend that you keep practicing drawing faces more and more so that you can get better at it. That way you don't get pissed and start ripping off your pages and redoing it over and over again. And if you want, you could add some shading to your work. Keep in mind, when shading your characters, you first need to find the lighting. Where is the light source? Then after that, your shadows should be the opposite side of your light source. And from there, you could also cover the parts where that might be seen hidden from the light source. That way you can get some nice clean shading to your work. And if you want, you could also add some highlights. That way your artwork could feel more alive. And there you have it. Cookery at its finest. As you can see, I just cooked. I cooked. And not subscribing means that you're missing out on the entertainment. You say you love the video but you don't show any love. For shame. If you made it to the end of this video, I thank you. Subscribe to the channel and smash that like button and turn on the notifications. Make sure you stay notified. And I'll see you in the next video. This is Luciano XI, and I'm out.